Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. Yesterday, a record 291 members of parliament appended their signatures officially to initiate the impeachment process against Rigathi Gachagua. And from those numbers, you can easily conclude that the fate of Rigathi Gachagua is sealed already. Because for that motion to succeed, the requirement is that they need only 233 members of parliament to support it. And we are talking of 291. But something also emerged yesterday. That Ndindi Nyoro, of all the people, failed to sign for the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. And that move by Ndindi Nyoro to refuse or to defy William Ruto on that impeachment, in my view, is significant, politically speaking. Because number one, Ndindi Nyoro is actually part and parcel of William Ruto's 2027 political equation. How will William Ruto treat Ndindi Nyoro after this process? Number two, Ndindi Nyoro was part of the team that negotiated for Rigathi Gachagua to be nominated as the deputy president. I remember at some point, the former Bahati member of parliament, Kimani Ngunjiri, was very clear that it was him, Rachel Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua, Dorcas Gachagua, himself, and Ndindi Nyoro, who made the decision that persuaded William Ruto to support Rigathi Gachagua. So which means he's part and parcel of William Ruto's strategy. Number three, Ndindi Nyoro is actually a front runner as far as Mount Kenya politics or the kingpin politics is concerned. We had Uhuru Kenyatta, who is still being perceived as the kingpin. Rigathi Gachagua also wanted to be the kingpin. But if you look at it critically, there was a general consensus at some point in the mountain that Ndindi Nyoro was a better option for them. And lastly, at some point, Ndindi Nyoro was also engaged in some political fights with Rigathi Gachagua, and therefore it was expected that he was going to be one of the leaders who are going to take charge of this impeachment process. But Ndindi Nyoro yesterday refused to append his signature. In this video, I want to explain to you guys the real reasons why Ndindi Nyoro decided to defy William Ruto as far as the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua is concerned. But before I do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But again, before I dive in, allow me to also take this opportunity to thank the following people. You are seeing their names on the screen there for the coffee they sent to me earlier today. It goes a long way in supporting this channel. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen there, because it goes a long way in supporting the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, let us dive in. First of all, why do you think William Ruto decided in his own wisdom to nominate Rigathi Gachagua as his deputy in 2027? Because there is this discussion that William Ruto would have won the mountain even without nominating Rigathi Gachagua. And personally, if you ask me, I agree fully. William Ruto, if he had even decided to pick any other person from the mountain, was still going to be the winner in Mount Kenya. But there was a reason why he picked on Rigathi Gachagua. And I've always told you that the main reason why he picked on Rigathi Gachagua was because he wanted someone who would fight Uhuru Kenyatta without fear. And that's where Rigathi Gachagua came in. But let us listen to William Ruto himself explaining why he arrived at Rigathi Gachagua as the deputy president, as the running mate. Because in this particular video, I want us to focus on Ndindi Nyoro. Watch.
Precisely. There were so many other instruments that we were using, that I was using, you know, to try and arrive at. I looked at many things, you know. I looked at many aspects of what was required of a deputy president, and there are some that were favored by gender. There's some that were favored by opinion polls. There's some that were, when I met groups, this group favored a different person, another group favored a different person. But finally, we all settled as a team on Rigathi Gachagua.
Because when Rigathi Gachagua appeared on Citizen TV that same night, he said that you picked him because he is a skilled mobilizer and could connect well with Mount Kenya.
What's wrong with that?
You see, why this? I mean, they say that the choice of running mate is one of the most important decisions a candidate makes, because if you get elected, Bwana DP, and God forbid something happens, this gentleman becomes a president.
And I trust Rigathi Gachagua to carry the mantle.
Yeah, that is why one would ask,
solid gentleman.
What are these things that would make him ready to take the reins of power in Kenya on day one?
That gentleman is an accomplished public servant. He's a politician, self-made person, and what I like about him more is his passion for people issues. You know, that's really the challenge we have in our country. The challenge we have in Kenya is so much about leaders who are passionate about ordinary people, and Rigathi Gachagua is one of those Kenyans who is passionate about ordinary people.
But let us not focus on those for now. Right now, let us focus on why Ndindi Nyoro refused to append his signature for the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. Number one, I think it's all about the 2022 political agreement. William Ruto nominated Rigathi Gachagua as his running mate. Ndindi Nyoro was present. So what was the agreement? Because there's no way Ndindi Nyoro can just decide to betray that agreement. If the agreement was this to happen, and Ndindi Nyoro being part of it is seeing that indeed on this matter, William Ruto is wrong, you can't expect him to append his signature. And I'm sure that 2022 political agreement is also affecting Ndindi Nyoro. Maybe they agreed that Rigathi Gachagua is going to be the running mate. Then after Rigathi Gachagua, then Ndindi Nyoro. Now, if you remove Rigathi Gachagua today and put Ndindi Nyoro, it means Ndindi Nyoro's political equation is going to be affected. Because I don't think Ndindi Nyoro would easily pick up the position of the deputy president right now, considering the fact that that position today in the Republic of Kenya has turned to be one of the most, you know, I don't want to use that word, but one of those less important positions we have in the Republic of Kenya. That's why I have in doubt if Professor Kithure Kindiki can agree to become the deputy president, unless he will be appointed the deputy president, but still retains the cabinet secretary for interior. So for me, Ndindi has refused because he feels Ruto is betraying their 2022 political agreement. That's number one. Number two, and by the way, before we proceed, allow me to also introduce you guys to LemFi. LemFi is a mobile money app for users in the UK, Canada, and the United States of America to send money back to Kenya. They offer the best exchange rates, and the money will be delivered instantly into Mpesa account, Airtel Money account, and of course, if you want, directly into your bank account. You can use the link in the pinned comment to download the app. Ladies and gentlemen, let us dive in. And this is a fact. Mount Kenya is actually hostile to this Rigathi Gachagua's impeachment. Talk to anybody from the mountain. They'll tell you that the mountain is today rallying around Rigathi Gachagua. Ndindi Nyoro has a political future. And that political future is not immediate. So if he starts spoiling his name by aligning with what the community doesn't want, considering the fact that he was also part of that finance bill. He was going to spoil his name. So in my view, the ground is hostile. That's why no Mount Kenya MP agreed. No Mount Kenya MP agreed to move this motion. None of them agreed to move the motion. Even the noisy one from Kabete could not move the motion. They had to look for someone, a little known member of parliament, I don't know from which constituency, from some Mandeleo chapter party, to move the motion because the ground is hostile. Ndindi Nyoro was a rising star in the mountain. I've talked to so many of them, people there, including some of my subscribers on this platform, including Gige. They've always told me that Ndindi Nyoro's popularity had started coming down. And that's why at some point even took break from Kenya Kwanza political activities, especially after the finance bill. You can ask my friend Nyota from Nyeri. So the ground was hostile for them. Number three, Ndindi Nyoro is actually keen on charting his own political path away from William Ruto. Right now, Ndindi Nyoro has made his money. He's very rich. He has made a name as one of the few MPs who have tangible projects on the ground. At the national level, say for the first time when he was first elected, remember when he was saying, like, when he was justifying the police brutality, Ndindi Nyoro has tried to rebrand himself as a national figure. That's why when Rigathi Gachagua was concentrating on the mountain, Ndindi Nyoro was in Nyanza, Ndindi Nyoro was where, Ndindi Nyoro was where, Ndindi Nyoro was where. So I think Ndindi is actually charting his own political path. He's still with Ruto and is a loyal supporter of Ruto, but is charting his own political path away from William Ruto. And if you ask me, that's why even Babu Wino has not appended his signature, because they're in the same team. That's why Jicho Pevu has not signed, did not sign that document. Number four, it is also very clear from whatever we are seeing that there are factions in UDA party. And based on my own calculation, three camps have emerged in UDA party. There is the Rigathi Gachagua's camp, where Malala is, and Rigathi now has a few members of parliament. Then there is William Ruto's camp, the one which are pushing for the removal of Rigathi Gachagua. And then there is another group where Ndindi Nyoro falls in, Jicho falls in, who don't want this impeachment. In fact, they are also not very comfortable, even with the developments within the UDA party. And lastly, you can't also rule out the possibility that Ndindi Nyoro is actually playing the Mount Kenya kingpin politics. You can't rule out that. Why? Ndindi wants to become the president of the Republic of Kenya, which means he will have to be forced to, first of all, become Mount Kenya kingpin. You can't become a kingpin of a community when you are viewed as a betrayer. It can never happen. So he must align himself with the community interest. Here the ground, implement. I don't know what you think. That's my take. And by the way, I've been reliably informed that for Kimani Ichung'wah, he has realized that he's going to lose in Kabete. The ground is too hostile for him. And for him, what he's keen on is to support William Ruto to win a second term. Once William Ruto wins a second term according to his plan, then he can then now decide to be appointed to the cabinet. Because he won't defend his seat, he will be appointed to the cabinet. Then from the cabinet, he hopes to now either decide to retire or now focus on 2032. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my take, and that explains why Ndindi Nyoro refused to append his signature. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny.